Hey, welcome back. So, if you're in the business world or even just interested in it, you've heard the words product and service thrown around all the time. But the difference between them isn't just a bit of trivia. Nope. It's actually the fundamental building block of any company. So, today we're going to break down these core ideas. So, let's just start with a simple question. Think about your favorite companies. Could you confidently say if they're selling a product or a service? The answer might actually be a little more interesting than you think. Let's get into it. All right, let's start at square one. Before we can really get into how a company gets big and successful, we have to understand what it even is. Is it selling you a thing, or is it doing something for you? That's the core distinction, and we're going to tackle it right now. First up, a product business. This is the one we're all familiar with, right? It's a company that sells you an item. That item can be something you can hold, like a new phone, or something digital, like an app you download. But here's the key. You're buying ownership of an item. The value is right there, in your hands, or, on your computer. Now, on the other side of the coin, you've got a service business. With this, you're not paying for an item. You're paying for an action. You're paying for someone's time, their skills, their expertise to get a job done for you. Think about getting your car fixed or hiring someone to do your taxes. The value comes from them doing the service. And this example with the iPhone makes the difference so clear. When Apple sells you that brand new iPhone in the box, that's a product. But when you drop that phone and shatter the screen, and you take it to a local shop to get it fixed, that's a service. It's the same device, but it's at the center of two totally different business models. So why does this distinction really matter for entrepreneurs? Well, it all comes down to one big idea: growth, or what we call scaling. For a product business, if you want to grow, you make more units and find more people to buy them. But for a service business, it's often way harder. Every new customer might mean you have to hire another person to do the work, which makes growing really fast pretty complicated and expensive. Okay, so product on one side, service on the other. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, in our modern digital world, those lines have started to get really blurry, and it's created this fascinating hybrid category. Let's check out how technology is really changing the game. Just when you think you've got it all sorted out, there's this tricky middle ground. It's something that really started out as a product, but over time, it's evolved into something that acts a lot more like a service. And what I'm talking about, of course, is software. You can see the whole evolution right here. Back in the day, you had step one. You went to a store and bought a physical box of software. It was clearly a product. Then came step two. It became a digital product you download and install. But the real game changer is step three, which was made possible by fast internet, software as a service, or SaaS. You don't own the software anymore. You subscribe to access it online. It's a total win-win. Companies get predictable income every month, and we get to use powerful tools for a small monthly fee instead of a massive upfront cost. And you're using these kinds of services every single day, probably without even thinking about it. Spotify doesn't sell you MP3s. It gives you the service of streaming music. Dropbox gives you the service of storing your files in the cloud. And project management tools like Trello or Asana, they provide the service of keeping your team organized. Basically, if you pay a monthly subscription for it, it's probably a SaaS business. That whole idea of a monthly subscription is the perfect segue to our next topic. Because once you figure out what a company offers, a product or a service, the next huge question is, how do they make money from it? And that brings us to the all-important business model. This is the logical next question, isn't it? It's not enough to just have a great product or a super valuable service. You need a plan. You need a blueprint for how you're going to turn all that value into actual money. And that blueprint, that's your business model. The easiest way to think about a business model is that it's the engine of the company. It's not just about what you're selling, it's the whole strategy for how you turn that thing into profit. It answers the most basic questions. Who's paying you? What are they paying for? And how often are they paying? Okay, theory is good, but let's look at some of these blueprints in the real world. We're going to take a look at some of the biggest companies out there and break down exactly how their money-making engines actually work. And here it is. This is the single most powerful tool you have to understand any business. Just ask this one simple question. Seriously, just ask yourself, how do they make their money? The answer to that question reveals pretty much everything. Let's use that question right now. How does Google make money? You don't pay for search, right? But they make billions by showing you ads next to your search results. So that's an advertising model. What about Amazon? Well, you buy stuff, they ship it to you, and they take a piece of the sale. That's an e-commerce model. And the New York Times, you pay a fee every month to read their articles. That's a subscription model. See, it's pretty simple when you break it down like that. Now, having a business model is absolutely critical, but here's a little secret. It doesn't have to be perfect from the get-go. The best companies are always testing things, tweaking things, and sometimes they completely overhaul their models until they find what works. It's really more like a living blueprint than something carved in stone. So we've covered the what, product versus service, and we've covered the how, the business model. Now it's time to put this new way of thinking to use. So here's your final takeaway, a little challenge for you. Pick an app that you use every single day. First, figure it out. Is it a product or a service? And then ask that all-important question, how did they make their money? Answering that isn't just going to help you remember everything we've talked about. It's going to completely change the way you look at all the businesses around you.